Okay, so again, this is my review for exam number 2 for summer of 2017. This exam I will be going through was given in 2016. So this exam's a year old. And I don't know why I have Patty Evans here, Adams, but it's not Patty. It may be I just took one of my old students to create a blank exam. So anyway, ow, careful, don't do that, that'll hurt. Oh, I did it anyway. Oh, dang. Okay, so I'm just going to go through this. If you have questions, by all means, ask your questions. With only 2 of you on, I'll leave the mics unmuted, so that if you do have a question, you can just speak right up and I can answer it as we go. So first problem here is worth 10 points. Write MATLAB code. Okay, if it says write MATLAB code, it is intended to be inside of the main script file. If it says write a MATLAB function, that is when you would need to do it in a separate file. And that's usually a huge confusion to students. They'll see write MATLAB code and they'll do a user-defined function. So this one just is intended to be within the main script file here. So calculate and display the squares of all the even numbers between 0 and 60. Create a table consisting of 5 integers and its squares with appropriate labels over each. Create a table consisting of 5 integers and its squares with appropriate labels over each column. Repeat using a for loop and use the table function. And I do believe that we ended up making this one here was extra credit. Okay, so create a table consisting of each integer and its square. Where did I see 5? Didn't I see 5 in there somewhere? I did say 5, but I don't see 5
points.
It must be. I could have swore when I read that the first time it said 5 and not each. Whoa, dude, you got to get your glasses cleaned. Holy cow, you can grow potatoes on them things. Okay, so we're going to create a table consisting of each integer and its square. Okay, so we need to create a vector of even numbers. Did I do an equal sign there? Yes, between 0, and to make them even, we'll go by 2, and 60. So that'll give us a vector from 0 to 60 with even integers. Oh, I'm going to get rid of this here, so hang on. Okay, that was just something with, what is this thing? Oh, not go, join.me, yeah. So, and it was in my way, it was bothering me, so I moved it. Okay, so we got our vector here of even numbers, and now we need to find the squares of it. So if we just create another one, it's going to equal just this and dot raised to a deuce. And so there's our integers and their squares. So now we need to create a table with appropriate labels over each column. So I'm going to make a variable of the values that we're going to print, and we want our x value, and in another row we want our squares, S-Q-U-A-R-E-S, and close bracket and a semicolon. Suppress the output from the command window. Hang on, we got another person joining us here. Okay, so now we'll create our table. We're going to start with a display function, and this is new material for this section, so it will be on there. So the top of our, we're just going to have, what is it, just some kind of an integer here. Oh, my back is killing me. Oh, quit your whining. Okay, and then SQ squared. Okay, it doesn't say it had to be intelligent titles, labels, headers, and then I'm going to use the print f, And we're going to have, okay, so just so you all know the format, I'm sure you do, but I'm going to explain it anyway, of what I call a placeholder, which is the percent sign followed by 2 digits, goes 0.2, and then the format. Okay, what that is this just tells MATLAB that for every time it sees this to go into the variable that's at the end that I don't have written yet and take one of the values out and put it right there. This 2 tells it to save 2 complete spaces to print this in, including the decimal point. And then this tells it how many places past the decimal on the right to display, okay, because this is a whole number and it's only 2 digits long. I'm only going to display 2 and nothing on the right because I don't need anything to write. There's nothing there. And this really doesn't work very well for what I'm trying to explain here because squared is they're all going to be squared. So, but we're going to do a percent, and this time 60 squared is going to be like 3,600. So we're going to need 4 places. And then we also need a new line. That's something a lot of students forget. And then a comma, and then our matrix. It has our values with no K in there. And I think I need to transpose that and hit that. And that should be our first problem. Oh, look at that. I didn't do it right. Okay, see, the format is wrong. It's listing all of my integers first. And that's right, you didn't need transpose because these are row vectors, not columns. But see, the reason it did this is because with this, I have 2 columns. So as MATLAB comes through this fprintf, it's going to start in this column and work all the way down to the bottom and then come back up and do this one up here and go all the way to the bottom. So for each placeholder you have in your fprintf, you want to have that many rows in your variable. Okay, I got too many rows and not enough columns, so if I take this so that it is no longer transposed, it will print it out right. Okay, and I don't like where they're positioned, so I'll just give it a little, oh, went too far. Okay, and give it a little more here. Okay, so you notice how they're all nice and even on the right side. That's because of this number right here. If I take this to a 3, they're going to throw them off because it's only saving 3 places now. And so when it gets to 4, it doesn't know what to do with it, so it just keeps the 3 and throws everything to the right. Now, I know that this is supposed to be squared, but just to demonstrate, in case anybody is curious as to the formatting here. Okay, so see now because there's no decimal points to the right, it trunks it off to the 1. So if we come over here and say 3, now you'll notice that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but only got 4 here. So if I go 5, it's probably not going to make much difference. But this value here, this 5, counts that decimal point. So the 5 would be the first 0, then 1, 2, 3, 4. Actually, if we take this up, make it a lot bigger here, and we'll go by. Okay, so see now they're not lined up because down here we've got 3, 4, 5, 6. So if we change this to a 6, why aren't you lined up? You're making a liar out of me. Oh, because we're not lined up on this side because there's 3 digits there instead of 2. Okay. I hope that makes sense to everybody. If not, I apologize for all the confusion. And if you are confused, let me know and I'll get with you online afterwards. And the arrow key stupid. There we go. But this is supposed to be squared according to the. That's a big number. No, 60, idiot. There we go. And we don't need those decimal places. And we only needed 4 of these. So that's some of the power in the fprintf um, on being able to format your output the way you like it, in conjunction with your display to give you your headers up here. Okay, so that was an awful long time for a very simple problem. Okay, so we're going to repeat part A using a for loop. So um, I guess one way to do this would be to go for an index variable equals 2. No, we want to start at 0. 0 by point, but not by 0.2, by 2 to 60. So this is going to start at 0 and increment every 2. We're going to go again, we'll square it is equal to I raised to the dose, and we're going to suppress that output, and then we're going to do an F for an F, and then also keep in mind that there are lots of ways to do these. If you don't do it the way I do, it doesn't mean that it's wrong. It just means that I did it differently. I'm a big fan of copy and paste. Okay, except hello there. Somebody just joined us. Hi, viewer 4. How you doing? Okay, so but down here we're not going to use that. We want to use, can you see me pointing at my screen here? We want to use the I value for the index that's being squared and the value squared. So we'll come in here and do an I comma SQUAR, and then hit our enter, and then an end. And just to separate these a little bit, I'm going to just display a blank line. So there it is. And then again, if we want to have our header in there. Okay, that makes sense? Any questions, comments, wants, needs, desires, concerns, complaints? Did I go too fast? Okay, everybody's up with me. Okay, so part C is to use the table function to create a table for the squares obtained in part A. I personally don't like this table function, but I'm not saying you can't use it. I just means I don't like it. So this would be, hopefully I can do this right, because like I said, I don't use it, so I'm not that familiar with it. Let's see, we didn't, so we're going to do, we're going to transpose this because we wanted in a column form instead of a vector form, a row form. And then our second one is going to be squares. And transpose that too. And then a whole bunch of other stuff here. Variable name followed by our titles for the header. Oops, we need to have a, there we go. Too many commas, too many commas. Danger, Will, danger. Integer followed by, and what did I have up there, squared. SQARED, ED. That, and then that, and then cross your fingers and hope it works. Woohoo, it worked. Yay. Yay. So here is the table made using the table function. Again, I don't know, maybe I just haven't used it enough to like it. I just don't feel that I have as much control over this thing as I do making my own here. I mean, granted, it puts these nice little underlines in there, but if you want underlines, they're easy to do too. You just do another display and make some underlines. Here, we'll underline the whole thing. So if you want them separated like it did in there, then we'll separate them. It's just, you know, I like having the control myself. So anyway, that's sure a lot of time. 15 minutes on that first problem. I guarantee you, if you were working this in an exam, it would not take you 15 minutes. I tend to go off on tangents and babble a lot. Apologies. Okay, problem number 2. The following table shows the costs associated with certain product, and table 2 shows the product volume for the 4 quarters of the business year. Use MATLAB matrix multiplication to find the quarterly cost for materials, labor, and transportation. Okay, so first off, we need to make a vector or matrix of all our data that we were given. So we have our unit cost is equal to, and then again, I'm a big fan, especially when I'm crunched for time, of copy and paste. Yeah, we'll do this the easy way. If you do a Control T, that'll uncomment everything, in case you were unfamiliar with that command. And then I just want to make this look pretty. Yeah, it's a lot quicker, isn't it, than entering one by one? Yeah, I know. Just leave me alone. I know what I'm doing. I'm the teacher. Oops, that one too many. Let's not get the one back. I still am, oops, a big fan of copy and paste, even though this one seems to be going a little bit longer than it should. It's because they put too many spaces in the exam. I mean, it doesn't make any difference, MATLAB. It's just easier to read if it's together, in my opinion. Okay, and then we need production volume is our next one here. Production volume equals, get back where we belong. We're going to do this one the way it should have been done last time because of all those spaces. So slap me real quick if I make an error. Okay, I'm not going to do the product number. I'm just going to do the quarterlies. So we have 10 followed by 12 followed by 13, he said, and followed by 15. And then an 8 followed by a 7 followed by a 6 followed by a 4 followed by 12 followed by 10 and a 13 and a 9 and a 6. And I don't grade you for aesthetic values. You know, like I just spent an extra effort lining up all my columns to make it look pretty. I don't grade you for that. If you want to make that all one long row, that is your prerogative. It just, to me, if there's an error in the calculations, it's a lot easier for me to come in and say, oh, well, that's a 2 when it should have been something different. Again, that's just me. So part A wants us to the quarterly cost for materials, labor, and transportation. So here's our if I'm going to leave the product number out, there's no sense in putting it in this one up here too. So we have our materials in this column, our labor in this column, and our transportation. So it is just a matter of taking unit cost and multiplying it by production volume. and we could probably assign this to some variable, I don't know, quart. Come on, you can spell quarterly. Quarterly cost is equal to all that. And cross our fingers it doesn't explode on us. It exploded. Oh, how did we get? It worked. I told you it worked. Let's see, 3 by 4. And oh wait a minute, you're an idiot. You're an idiot. I'm sorry. We need to transpose these guys. There we go. So there's our quarterly costs. So this one here would be for materials. This one would be labor, and this one would be transportation. The total cost would be a matter, and that's part B. The total material, labor, and transportation cost for the year is going to be a total cost is equal to the sum of the quarterly cost transposed. What? One of these isn't spelled right. Quarter. Oh man, I need to get my glasses fixed. Oh, because it's a capital C. That'll do. And then finally is the total quarterly cost is going to be just a matter of the sum of and so you're sitting there asking yourself, what is all this teaching me that we learned from the last material? Is material that's covered from last would be this line right here, the matrix multiplication. So they threw this in to make sure you still remembered how to do a sum. Okay. Any questions? No? Okay. Okay, these ones I like. These ones are easy. Solve each system of equation using both the left division and the inverse method. So again, we need to start with a matrix. And this one I'm just going to do this way. 3, 2, minus 9. Oops. Minus 9, minus 5. And this is just pulling the coefficients off of the variables 6, 7, 3, and suppress, and then make it look pretty, line up all my digits. Okay, and then our resultant vector is going to be, and this one needs to be in column form, so it's going to be minus 65, 16, 5. So the inverse method, is going to be equal to the inverse of A times R. And then for a verification, the left is, oh, we lost somebody who wasn't, well, I guess I bored him. Yeah, you ramble way too much. I know, I'm sorry. Left division is going to be this key divided by that one. And those two should come out to be the same. 2 minus 4, 7, 2 minus 4, 7. All right, that's the easiest 10 points on this whole exam. Just make sure that when it says to use both left division and inverse You do the inverse and the left division. Okay, because if you don't do one of them, I have to take half your points off. And I know there are other ways to solve these, um, but still, it specifically states to use these two. If you don't use them, then I can't give you credit for them. So problem number 5. Write a program. Again, terminology is a little confusing sometimes. Program means just code here, not necessarily a function. Only time I expect to see something like this is if it says a MATLAB function. So write a program that allows a user to enter a string containing a day of the week, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and that uses a switch construct to convert the day to its corresponding number, where Sunday is considered the first day of the week, Saturday is considered the last day of the week. Displaying the resulting day number. Also be sure to handle the case of illegal day name. Be sure to use the S option when you prompt the function input so that the input is treated as a string. Okay, so we need input from the user. Whoa, why did you turn? Did I mutt you? Okay, I mutted you, didn't I? How much of that did you hear?
All of it.
Oh, okay, I must have just barely mudded it, so that's cool. Okay, so we need an input from the user. So we'll use the input command. Input with a P, there we go. And then just something to tell the user what to do. Input a day. Oh, and oh man, I tell you, some days it just doesn't pay to get out of bed. This name. Okay, or how about we do a input a name of a day. There we go. End button. Why are we clear out there? I don't need to be clear out there. And so we're going to close that, and then we're also going to tell it to do a string input with a format S on the bottom. And we're going to suppress the output to the window because we don't need to see it twice. Okay, so that was the easy part. Now here's where I get a little fuzzy in my brain, so I have to use the help function, and I think it's upper. Yeah, okay. So I don't want to have to sit there and make a case for every input. So we're going to use a switch, and I'm going to do an upper day. And what that is going to do is, regardless of whether I use lowercase or uppercase on this, it's going to flip them all to uppercase. So if we come in here and do a case of, and I hope this works. I hope this works. Not if you're going to use this stinking wrong quotation mark. Sunday, and then the day number is the first day of the week, right? Right. I knew that. And we're going to suppress that output. And then we're going to do case. Again, all upper. Monday. Enter.
Quick question. What is the shortcut to get like your case and end back exactly 4 spaces?
Okay. Yeah, it just defaults. Okay, so I'm here, I hit the enter key and it just goes there, and when I write case, it just automatically goes back 4 spaces.
Why is mine not doing that? Okay, I'll figure that out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not
I'll
doing
play with some settings or something.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. It does that for a lot of the stuff that I'm doing here. pretty sure I didn't do anything special. I'll look into it, but I'm like I say, I'm not. Um, oops, all upper Tuesday. And I'm gonna cheat. And oh, you cheated bad too. I didn't cheat bad. I just cheated stupid. This is supposed to be 3, and this is supposed to be 2. And then case of Wednesday. Now let's see if he can spell Wednesday right. WQU. You're an idiot. Oh, thank you. Thursday. Anybody go see Spider-Man yet? No? Yeah. And then case.
Do you need to put parentheses around your days of the week?
Do I need to put parentheses around the days of the week? I don't know. I don't think so. Let me finish this up and we'll check it and see if it works. E6 and then
Are you muted or can I not hear you?
oh
Yeah,
dang
I
it.
can't hear you.
Yeah, sorry. I wasn't saying anything important. It just there's a mute button on my headphones and it's right there at the corner of my computer, and if I hit it just right, it hits the corner of my computer and mutes. I don't I don't I don't I don't think I need them, but we'll find out here in just a few seconds. Saturday, day of the week equals 7, and then we'll have an otherwise for the erroneous um, um, inputs. Will sorry, I get lost in a thought every once in a while. Why did you um, um, just what? I don't know. So we'll just do an illegal name, and then and give this a 0 because I'm not that smart. Because I are an idiot with my little girl named Bridget, and then we'll do an f print f and do what? I don't know, we're putting out the day number, right? The day number equals, again, we're single digits, so we'll do just 1.0 because that's all we need. F and new line just to get the cursor off. Single quotation drop, and then day num. And I cross our fingers that this works. Okay. Oh, I don't like that. Control C. Sorry, it's a formatting thing. I'm a little anal. I like to have a colon at the end and then a space so that my cursor's not sitting right on the end of the line. Again, that's just my personal preference. Is it right or wrong? No. It's just my way is always better for me. Okay, let's see if Monday works. Okay, we're going to put a couple of caps in there and see what it does. Day number 2. It worked. I'm surprised. It worked. Why are you surprised? Because I can't ever do anything right. So if we do all lowercase Fridays, So see, by using this upper command, it doesn't matter how you input it, it will find the right day. That was something I learned back in my did I do? No, Pascal. I did Pascal and C++.
Gross.
What? Yeah, when we first started this class, it was MATLAB and C++. No, it was actually Maple and C++. But we're going to put in some bogus day and see what we get. Undefined function of Saturday. Why did, oh, you guys didn't see that. Dropped. Do Fred.
Didn't see what?
I left a single quotation mark off the front of Saturday.
I saw that.
So it came all the way down here to Friday, and it looked at Saturday and says, that's not good. So, and that was the first time I got that far. So, okay. Any questions on problem 5? That's just a lot of typing. Repeat. Use a menu this time. Oh, that seems like a lot of work. Okay, so this time we're going to make a display here. Please choose a day of the week. And then we'll come down here and do our menu. You can combine these two, I guess, too. You really don't need to do them separately. This one will print over here. And if we do this one down here, it will be in our menu box. And so now we'll have a what, Monday, Tuesday. There's no B in Wednesday. Serious, there is no B in Wednesday. I am well aware of that. Ah, but you're an idiot. I know it, but I still know there's no B in Wednesday. And then Wednesday, and then go to Thursday. And you write it as Thursday. Yeah, you're an idiot. I am. And then Fridays, commas, and Saturdays. And finally, a Sundays. However, I guess if we want the numbers to coincide with the actual day of the week as given in the problem, we need to take this guy and bring him up here. I got too many commas here. You got too many commas. There you go. Because now Sunday will be 1, and that's the way the menu works, is whichever one you click first is going to be 1, then 2, then 3. Oh, there's where that comma, then 4, and then 5. Okay, so, and we probably ought to assign this to a variable. Then comes the tedious part. Switch day. Yeah. So the case, this is going to return 1 for the first day. So we're going to cheat, because I don't want to waste you guys' time while I sit there and hunt and pick all these. Okay, so we're going to assign string value to these. So this is going to be a case. No, go back. There we go. 2. Case 3. Spell it right, that works better. Case 4. We don't need our dots. Case 5. Case 6. Case 7. And then end. And then repeat this time. Okay, and so we'll just do a display this time, and you have selected space, comma, chink, punk, and day. Close that bracket, close this, and cross our fingers it doesn't explode. Not enough input arguments. Where? Oh. Oh, because I cheated. I got rid of that. We don't need. What? Joe Mama. Oh, can't find it. Oh. What? I ain't right. Find it. Could not find case sensitive from menu. Stinking capital M. Can you believe that? How embarrassing. Yeah, you should be embarrassed. You're supposed to know how to do this. Come on, find a spot to grab that. It won't let me move it. There we go. Okay, so if we pick a day, any day. Give me a day. Friday. Okay, you have selected Friday. Wednesday. So it works. Yay, it works. Monday. Any questions? Thursday. Sunday. Are you guys still asleep? Joe, did you leave us? You just mudded your phone.
Are you muted or is it just me again?
Ah, dang it. How long has that been mudded?
30 seconds-ish.
Okay. I don't never say anything important in 30 seconds. So, any questions on the on the menu? Okay. So, due to the fact that the last problem is on your exam, I'm not going to do it. Sorry. I'll have to go through and edit that, make sure I don't see that. Anyway, so I found another test that had a function problem in it so that I can do a function so that you can see the proper way to write a function that makes sense as opposed to this piece of work. So we're going to do problem number 5 here. It's a function called ln that accepts a scalar in value and calculates the natural log of x between 0 and is between what? If x is between greater than 0. Again, who writes these things? Okay, we'll skip that one. And we'll do this function down here. A function called sync that accepts an array as an input and calculates the value of the sine of x divided by x if x is not equal to 0, and returns a value 1 if x is equal to 0. Oh, this would be a good one because it has the find command in it. Yeah, see, we don't want this garbage up here. We're going to do this one down here. Okay, so again, plot the results. We do not plot in the function. That is something that's done here in the main script file, not in the function. So we're going to create a function, and we're going to copy this here to put into our function. Control, come over here. We're going to have a function with some sort of results equal to something inside of here, and that needs to be controlled. Sync. Okay, so we're going to do a sync that accepts as an array a value of x. Okay, so we're going to come down here and we're going to do set 1 is equal to find. You can't have spaces and stuff. Set 1. Find. What are we going to find? We're going to find
X equal to 0.
Yeah, that's what we're looking for. X equal to 0. And we're going to hide that. And
you need 2 equals?
I think so. That's why it's red. Find x equal to 0. Um, um, it's one of the problems with having so many. I'm okay. Here's a point for the student to teach the teacher. Is this a not equal to? No.
No, I think it's the squiggly.
There we go. Yeah, it's the back that this one here. Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Let's see. It changes from every freaking different programming. In one of the programmings that I've done, it's the exclamation point. Okay, so because we got to do division, so I'm going to do 2 sets, one that's equal to 0 and one that's not equal to 0. Okay, so our results that are set 1 is going to be equal to all of this stuff here, because those are not equal to 0. However, because it is a vector, we need to do a dot divide, because you can't divide by vectors. It's impossible. It's like dividing by 0, and it's like me making sense. It just isn't never going to happen. Oops. Okay, but we don't want all of x's. We just want x of the set 1. Right? Do you follow that?
I think so.
Yeah, because the x's that have the location of set 1 are the ones that are not equal to 0. So we're going to do results. We're going to spell it right too. I am tired. I'm so tired. Set 2. And we could do this in a for loop too. We'll do it one element at a time. If you want, I can show you that.
Could you also use an if structure too?
To do the if structure, it would have to be inside of a for loop. Because if you just came in here and said if x is not equal to 0, then if it's true for the entire vector, it'll return true. But even if one is false, it'll return false for the whole thing. It doesn't go element by element. So that's why you'd have to put it into a loop.
Well, I think I would. Do you want you to show me the loop way?
Okay, we can do that.
Yeah, the loop chapter confused me a lot.
Okay, so this should be a valid, but I'm not sure why is that? If results is an indexed variable, performance can be improved logically indexing instead of, go away, leave me alone. So this should work. And so now if we do a control S, which is a save, it'll save it as a sync. Do we already have one in there? No, we don't. So we'll save that, come back to our main program here, and we'll set X equal to a -10. We're plotting, so we want lots of plot points. To 10, hide that, and then y is equal to our sync of x, and then I'm not going to do, you all know how to do the titles and labels and all that, so I'm just going to do the plot so that we can see that our function works, and do a control enter, and there's our plot. Woohoo, it worked, yay, yay, woohoo, woohoo. Okay, so that's what it's supposed to look like, and no, I'm not normal, thanks for asking. So this is so that's the way to do this function as a using the find. Okay, let's do it now for in a for loop. Okay, so
How did you make them all comments?
I highlighted them and did Control R, makes it a comment. Control T uncomments.
Oh, okay.
Or you can highlight them all, right mouse click. Oops, highlight them all, right mouse click, and go to comment and uncomment. See here, shows you
Yeah.
Control R, Control T. Okay, so now so I'm going to do a I need to find out how big my x is. So I need a variable. Give me a variable p. Okay, p sounds like a good. P is going to equal the length of x, and we're going to hide that. And I didn't want all this here, so we'll have to come back here and right there. Okay, okay, so now we're going to do a for loop. I equals 1, 2, p, okay, because p is how many numbers are in that variable,
Yeah.
that vector. So that'll tell us how many times we want to run a loop. Then we'll do an if x of I, which is going to look at that element, is equal to 0. We're going to do result of I equals 1, right?
Yeah.
And then we'll do an else. Result, oh no, there's an S. Gotta have an S, gotta have an S, gotta have an S. Results of I, okay, so this is going to say it's a valid number, is going to equal the sign of x of I divided by x of I. And because we're doing a loop, it's only going to do one value at a time, so we don't need a dot here.
So our result is also a vector.
Huh?
So is our result also a vector?
Yes, by putting this
Oh,
I here, every time I increases by 1, it'll go to the next element in results.
okay. And it'll just be a one row vector.
Yeah. And to see that when we get done, I don't normally do this in a function, but I'll just have it display results to the screen. Okay, and I'll do a Control S because we've already saved this as sync.
Well, I think you deleted one of your I's in your results.
I did. Nice catch. We'll save that, and then we'll come back here to this and rerun that. And you know, it's just taking a little bit longer to run this time because there's a lot of data points there. We ought to do a TikTok on that. TikTok. Why are you waiting for number That's why. What? Don't give me that. Oh, I got to have another one of those here. Oh, not that button, this button. There we go. And then we come back here and there we go. And so you can see here that the result, because I had it print to the screen, if we come up here, come up here, come up here, come up here, come up here. Oh, where is that button? It's going to take forever. Results. You can see that this is a row vector. If we came over here and transposed it, it would be one long line. Now if we come in here, so, but yeah, that's so. Anyway, so that's how you'd have to do it as an if statement, because if you just came in and left this part out, if we commented that and commented this, and commented, there we go. We don't need this. So now you're just doing, if X, okay, so here we're saying if X is equal to 0, results is 1. And this is the way most of the students interpret the if statement in MATLAB. This should produce something, but it's not accurate, because it only returned it returned nothing. What did it return? It turned one answer. So does that make sense, or did I just confuse you even more?
Or no, that makes sense.
Okay. So when you're performing a if statement on a vector, it has to be, if it's true for the entire vector, it'll return true. If it's false for even one element, it'll return false for the entire vector or matrix.
So you have to check each and every element.
Yep, you have to go through element by element and compare them. And see, and this here is a little more intensive programming than the find statement.
Yeah, and so can we run through the find statement?
Sure.
So when you set 1 equal to the find for
Okay.
X is not equal to 0.
Let me
so that
let me comment this out and bring this up. Control T. Okay, so this first line here, I'm saying set 1 is equal to find in X all values that are not equal to 0. So this finds the location.
That finds the index number?
That finds the index number in X that are not equal to 0, and it sets those index values into a matrix called set 1.
So when you say results of set 1,
when I say right, it's pulling up these index values and taking the same place inside of this matrix in those same locations and assigning it this value.
So if you didn't put results of set 2, what would be at the point where X equals 0?
If I didn't do this one,
yeah,
I think it would
there just be nothing there, or would there be?
Yeah, I think it will default to zeros. Let's see. Control, we just saved that. We'll come back here and run it, and our plot's hiding. So yeah, see, here's the zeros here. So it put this line in because it's 0.
So it just put a 0 in place of that one missing part.
Right.
Okay.
And so by putting this line here in, we're telling you, now there is a way to get by. We could do this, comment this out. We wouldn't need this line here. Control R. We're going to nest this. We could say that results is equal to 1's size of x. And so what that's going to do is it's going to create a matrix of 1's that's the same size as x and assign that to results. Now, when it comes down here, everything's equal to 1 except for the areas that finds that are not equal to 0, then it'll reassign it to these here. Does that make sense?
That'll just return the exact same thing.
Yeah, but this
Except
time
for
we
one
won't have that
zero
drop
now.
down because it was 1 instead of 0 now.
Yeah. That makes sense.
So, I guess that's one line shorter in programming if you did that, although I did do some nesting there. And, technically, if you wanted to even get one more line shorter, we could take this guy here and we could take this out. I should take that out and put that in there, and the same here, and the same here. And I'm probably now really confusing you, but basically I'm just nesting all this so that it's all down now in 2 lines instead of the 3. And it better work or I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry. See,
Okay.
I'm gonna dock that so that it's always there. There we go. So see, but this is, to me, this is a lot harder to read
Yeah.
than this. Because I can look at this and see that, okay, well, we're finding all the variables that are not equal to 0, all the variables that are equal to 0, and assigning them values. But again, it's personal personal preference. If it does not say in here anywhere to say use find command, then I don't care how you do it. If it says to use a for loop and the if statement, then I would expect to see this. Because we put these kinds of things in the questions to test your ability to do those commands.
Yeah.
And if you don't do the commands, then I'm assuming you don't know how to use them, so I have to not give full credit for the problem.